All right, we're jumping back in with Trent Harmon, part two
Yes, sir.
of your reality check interview. I want to talk about Like I Can. That was not my favorite performance of yours.
Me either.
I thought it was just I don't know if it was pitched too high or what it was, but I was wondering how you felt about that one.
That was a unique week, and I think back to it a lot because I'm so glad that I didn't do super well. Like I did well enough just to maintain.
Right.
It wasn't bad, but I knew as soon as I sang the last note, I didn't do as well as I could have. And I called home. Like I always call home after the show when I talked to them, and they said it was okay. They said it was okay, and I said I'm not worried because I think I did well enough to stay in the hunt.
Right.
But I'm so disappointed that I didn't do as well as I could. But man, it fired me up, and that was another turning point. It was like I had all these layers of turning points, and that was one. I said, I'm not going to have another week that's just milk toast.
Mm-hmm.
I will not have another week, and I got fired up after that point. And I don't really know what it was. Maybe it was pitched too high. Maybe it was I don't know what it was. But I'm glad that it was a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I barely passed, but.
Right.
But
It wasn't a 2.
It wasn't a 2. It was a 6. You know, but and a lot. It's strange. You know, we say we didn't really love it. A lot of people say that was their favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and to each his own. You know, like that they liked it. But I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't really love it either.
Your family then is a group of fairly tough critics or honest critics with you. They're not like, oh my God, you were on TV. It was great.
No.
That's so good.
No, it is because nobody wants to hear all the time. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was great. You look great. You sound great. Everything's great. No. And especially, I always press her, but like my grandma, I call her, and she's OG. Like she does not care. She's not impressed. Well, Trent, that was, you know what that was. And like, I mean, you know, and she's honest. And I say, what could I have done better? What could I have done better? Yeah, most of it. Like, you know,
Wow.
and she, I appreciate that. And, you know, and then of course she asked me what I ate for lunch and dinner that night. But like, she tells me the truth, and I'm glad.
Was it helpful to have your family back at home? I know you said for superstitious reasons you didn't want them out there, but I always feel like it's a different experience hearing it on TV than live. I think sometimes live, the audience can get caught up in the excitement. Maybe they can't hear everything as well, and through the TV, you hear everything.
That's true. I had a moment whenever I sang Simple Man, and I realized at the end of that song, everything that I didn't understand, because I often wondered, is this the right call not to let my family come out here? You know, like I'm treating this like a job, and you don't take your parents to work with you, but if I get cut, my family will be just distraught forever that I did not include them in this life experience. And I realized at the end of Simple Man, if I had my parents out here, I wouldn't miss them. You don't miss people that are with you, you know, really. So it's like everything came to fruition in real time on national TV. And that's why I cried. I think I cried more on Idol than I have in my whole life. And I've cried 10 times my whole life. 5 of them were on Idol.
Right.
You know? So.
Now you had a point around that point in the competition, maybe when a man loves a woman, where Scott talked to you about like making too many faces while you're singing, and they showed you practicing in the mirror, and then after you sort of went through that, I was like, maybe we should go back to the facial expressions, like maybe that's just part of it, and they didn't. I don't think it got brought up again. What's your resolution on that? What was it like hearing that feedback and practicing in the mirror, and did you eventually throw that away, or?
It's kind of a strange, finicky situation that I really don't understand. I think it's one of those things where they love you for you, and I respect that. And then it's like, you know, some people think the faces are off-putting, so maybe we should tone it down. And I'm coachable,
right?
Because I'm nobody in the game at this point. You know, like I don't have a proven track record of going and doing stuff. So like, if you tell me, Trent, making those faces like you're trying to bite your ear, you know, like all this stuff. They said that's not good. We got it. So I toned it back. Well, then the people got on socials and they said, "Let the man make his face. That's what we love." And it was like, you know what? He made it far enough in the competition. Let the man make his faces.
Yeah.
And I think there's a happy medium. You know, if it goes through my head, don't make a face on this one. But if it doesn't, I don't think about it.
And is there a point if that's too much in your head, it's actually going to affect?
It is. You don't want to be thinking about that. You want to be thinking about the lyrics first and foremost, because if you forget the lyrics, doesn't matter how pretty you sing the song. You just don't want to think about that too much. That's not the focal point of delivering a song. If you can sell that, and I don't like the word sell, because I'm not selling anything. I'm performing, but don't think about it. Don't think about the faces. Just sing the song.
That was a critique from Melinda Doolittle as we shoot our reality check show. She was like, let the man. She's like, you've seen me in concert. You know the faces are flying left and right. You got to feel it, and feeling it is number one.
Just shout out at you, Melinda Doolittle. You are one of the sweetest souls I've ever met in my life. I just want to hug. Every time I see her, I give her a hug. And I'm not a hugger. But this past week, she was just a blessing to work with. I love her.
She's pretty much the best.
She is. She ain't pretty much. She's the best. She's the best.
She's the best. Right. Let's not qualify with it pretty much.
That's right.
Also, on a totally superficial note, let's talk fashion. Because you started out with sort of the Aztec printy shirt. And by the time you got to the end of the season, you were rocking leather pants. I was at Trent in leather pants. But you definitely had a style evolution a little bit, although there were still nods to where you were at before. It's like you didn't completely lose that, but your look definitely elevated. And I love when contestants are not afraid to, change it up a little bit or evolve fashion-wise on the stage. Did you think about that a lot, or was that basically a stylist saying, like, why don't you try this on?
No. I think it all goes back to being coachable. Mm-hmm. Like I got into the wardrobe room and they said, look, country boy that knows how to dress. This is a good thing. And they said, look, you know how to dress, but we get paid to know how to dress. And we're gonna. You already have the cornerstone of knowing what to do. We can take you places if you'll let us. And I said, guys, I want wardrobe I want to take it seriously because this is TV, not radio. Yes. They see you before they hear you. So I take that seriously. I said, but I want wardrobe to be kind of an escape from. I want to have fun in here. Mm-hmm. And when they heard me say that, they said, "Oh man, let's go shopping." And we went shopping. Shout out at Joe because we just had fun. Yeah, we had fun, and I like keeping it interesting. Like I think you should be consistent in some aspects. Like I am the hat or the scarf, or but also change it up. Right. Wear a suit.
And you've got good hair, so you can't wear the hat every week.
Yeah. Thank goodness I got good hair. Shout out at mom and dad.
I should be wearing the hat. For God's sake.
You can have the hat, man. You can have
this situation just continues to devolve. All right, about the hair, not the interview. You had a week, I thought, with one of your greatest performances of the season and one of your weakest, which was Counting Stars and Simple Man. Talk about the highs and lows of that, if you agree. Yeah.
Agreed. And I will attribute being so off with Counting Stars. First of all, I performed first out of the gate.
Yes.
And that's just a weird time. They call that like the Death Star or something performance because it's just bad because not everybody sat down in front of the TV. Yes. So you might not get the vote.
Right.
Because they didn't hear you. And you're standing on the stage just chilling and stuff backstage and they say sing.
Yes. And you don't know the order.
You don't know the order. You don't know it at all.
I hate that. I really wish that they had just said,
here's something.
We're not going to announce the bottom three till the end, but your performance order is this. Yeah. Because I feel like the adrenaline's got to be brutal.
I feel like that song was a train, and it just took off, and it was over before anybody even realized what I sang, even myself. Yeah. And I knew at the end of it, I said, thank you, Lord, I have a second song. Yes. Because if I didn't, I would have been in trouble. And I had to deliver on the second. And I didn't have to deliver. I had to hit a home run.
Yes, you did.
There was no other option. Yeah, because it was a 5. You know, it was a 5. It was just I went to the bathroom and I kind of sat there. I washed my face. I said, "You got to bring it on the next one," because that was weak.
Was that pressure on as you took the stage, and did you carry it through the performance, or did you let it go?
I let it go. Yeah, I let it go, and I said, "If you don't do well, you had a good run, man. But if you can do well, that'd be cool."
What made Simple Man as good as it was?
I adore that song, and I always have. And I never thought I'd get to sing it, and I've never sung it. Strangely enough, I never sung it until the show. Other than just in passing or in the car or something. But I like that song because it is me. I've been told what to do by my mom my whole life. She's going to tell me what to do tonight before I go to bed. Make sure you print off your boarding pass. Make sure you check into your flight. That song's about a mom telling her son what to do, how to be and act right. And so it was easy. It's hard to relate to cover songs. Yeah. You got to find a lyric that speaks to you that can then speak to the audience. And that was just a good bit. It fit.
Absolutely. You followed up with, I think the week that you maybe cemented your win was Stevie Van Zandt and Sia coming in as
Oh, yeah.
mentors. And that was, I think we got to see your work ethic. I think we got to see how creatively involved you were willing to get and the risks you were willing to take. Talk me through those two. Let's start with the swampy, sharp-dressed man. And when Stevie said to you, like, let's move that ooh part to the beginning,
Yes.
was there any trepidation, or were you like, oh my God, yes, let's go?
I've always been a fan of his. I watched The Sopranos. I'm a fan of what he's done with Mr. Bruce Springsteen and whatnot. But it was whenever he heard that, the ooh, I said, what do you think about that? And he said, oh, we're going to do that at the beginning of the song. Oh, word? I was like, you sure? And he said, no, I'm not sure. That's the song, son. He said, that's what's going to carry this song.
Yeah.
He said, and we're going to slow it down. We're going to make it swampy. And he proceeded to explain swampy, and I said, I know what swampy means.
Right.
I got you. And we did it again. He said, you nailed it. He said, that's what we got to do. He said, now just go get on the stage and sell it.
And it took it away from ZZ Top. It wasn't about that
It
version.
did.
It really took it to
That's
a different
right.
place.
And it was like we got the. I thought it was such a good idea that he. I think it was kind of a collective situation where we spun it on its own. And it was like, what is this song? Is this Sharp Dressed Man? I like it. Is it Sharp Dressed Man? Boom! It is Sharp Dressed Man. Because then we went into just the four on the floor, a regular Sharp Dressed Man, and.
Did you think it was important to bring that part back in
Yes.
to not?
Yes, I got to see ZZ Top in concert a year or so ago with my dad and Skinner at the same time, and so it was weird that I got to do those songs back to back in weeks. And no, I'm big on paying homage. Like if you get the opportunity to cover somebody's song like that, do them respect. Don't change it up so much that they don't know what the song is. But if you do change it up to where they don't know what the song is, do it well. Be careful with it. So do it respectfully. That they're like, oh, I might have done that if I had gotten a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that we went back and took it back to ZZ Top.
And you had Alison Urahita on backgrounds on the ooh part, which
Which is
anytime you
Always
hear
a
her
good
voice, that's
thing.
like an extra.
Always a good thing.
It's just.
And they were so good. The background singers, I got a lot of one-on-one with them, and they made me sound pretty.
Everything about that performance was
That's
like
right.
an A+. I actually gave it an A+ when I was good, and I don't give them out very often.
I think I read a lot of reviews, and I was like, A+. I didn't even get those in regular school.
And Chandelier, it was an A+, maybe with a little asterisk, like an extra plus or something. What was that about? And how did you go in there not thinking you were going to go to that upper register part?
I just didn't physically know if I would have the voice after a week of interviews. And
Okay.
Ms. Melinda can attest to that. You speak tens of thousands of words all week.
Mm-hmm.
You practice the song. I practice my songs 200 or 300 times.
Okay.
Maybe a day. Not the whole song. Maybe
Right.
just a line.
Right.
Maybe just a certain part of the song. But I was worried that I didn't know if it would come out. I knew that it'd come out in the shower.
Right.
I knew it'd come out walking
Right.
down the hall. But when it counted, you never know.
Yeah.
And Sia was an angel to work with. And I know nobody's ever, a lot of people seen her face. I've seen it. She's really good looking. She's beautiful. She's so goofy and fun to work with. And she said, this is your song for 90 seconds. This is Trent's song. Find a lyric that relates to you. Make it your song. And I did. I did the best I could. And I wanted to do it well for her.
It was literal perfection. You said you approached it not from a place of alcoholism, which is what she was singing about. You approached it from a lighter place.
Yeah. I had an uncle that passed away just a couple weeks prior to singing it from alcoholism, and it was awful and it was tragic, and I'm still kind of working through that. But I didn't want to go into it being morbid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting to sing on stage on a national singing competition. Never thought I'd get to do that. And I had just talked about my friend Daniel who had passed away, and that was kind of it was sad, and it is sad, and it's still sad to me. But I didn't want two of those things back to back. I said, look, I'm swinging from the chandeliers in a bright place, in a happy place, and that was healthy for me to do that. And I think that helped me be able to practice it, and as much as I did.
When you got on stage, did you know you were going to hit all those notes? I don't think there was one off note, and that's a technically pretty tough song. Was there any doubt, or did you know at that moment, this is happening?
Just not to sound like a jerk, but I just knew. I knew that for that song, unless I physically crapped out, like unless my voice physically popped, I knew that I could do it. And that's good because, one of my best friends is a boxer. And he says, look, when you go in the ring, you don't need to think you can win. You already know you're going to win. You're thinking about what you're going to eat after the fight. And I was kind of like that. I was like, look, Trent, you know you can sing this. Go do it. Yeah. Go do the thing. Go do it.
Go do the thing.
Go do the
We're going to come back for part 3, a couple quick questions, and wrap this up with your future. Like what the future holds.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, prep for that.